All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about a massive, seismic shift in the tech world. I mean, a moment that is poised to completely rewrite the rules for how software companies make money, how we all work, and honestly, how a multi-trillion-dollar industry is going to fight for its own future. This is the story of the SaaSpocalypse.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Your entire workday probably revolves around software, right? But what if those exact same tools could do your job for you without you even logging in? It kind of sounds like science fiction, I know, but it's a very real question the tech world is seriously starting to worry about.
And look, this isn't some far-off, distant future fantasy. The analysis we're looking at points to a single flashpoint, a very specific day when everything could change, February 3rd, 2026. So let's dig into what is predicted to happen on that day, and more importantly, why it matters so much.
Okay, so to really get the shock of what's coming, you first have to understand the golden rule of software for the last, 2 decades. The business model was super simple. If a company hired more people, it bought more software licenses, or seats. Growth was totally predictable. More employees meant more money for companies like Salesforce, Slack, you name it.
But on February 3rd, 2026, that golden rule is expected to just shatter.
So why? What's the big deal?
Well, it's because of a new kind of technology that won't just help human workers, it has the potential to straight up replace their functions entirely at the software level.
The catalyst for all of this is something called agentic AI. Now, we're not talking about your average chatbot that can write a decent email. No. We're talking about really sophisticated AI agents that can basically take over your keyboard and mouse to get actual work done all on their own.
So, what can these things really do? Well, for starters, they can navigate your whole computer's file system. They can execute these incredibly complex 50-step workflows. We're talking about things like cross-referencing legal documents with local regulations. And this is the kicker. They can operate other software applications, all of it, with no human in the loop.
And right here, this is the brutal, simple logic that could trigger a total panic. If one AI agent with just one software license can do the work of 10 employees, well, why would a company keep paying for 10 licenses anymore? They wouldn't. They just need the one. The entire per-seat business model would become worthless practically overnight.
The market reaction to that realization would be, well, catastrophic. The forecast shows over $1 trillion in market value just gone, wiped from software stocks in a single week. This wouldn't be a minor correction. It would be a complete and total reevaluation of the entire industry. That is the SaaSpocalypse.
So how would a disruption this massive actually play out? Well, it wouldn't happen all at once. The fallout would likely come in stages, from that initial shock all the way to creating a completely new normal.
Okay, so right away, you'd see panic selling in the markets. Then, in the months that follow, companies would just freeze hiring for any kind of manual data entry role. After a year or so, the whole pricing model flips from paying per user to paying for a specific result. And then, long-term, the whole point of software changes. It goes from being a system of record, which is basically a smart filing cabinet, to a system of action that's actively doing the work for you.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This whole event would send a very specific shockwave through one country in particular, India. You know, its massive IT services industry, the back office of the world, is built on a model that would be under direct attack.
This quote just perfectly captures the existential fear that would ripple through the industry. The entire value of Indian IT is built on providing skilled human hours at a massive scale. So if AI can do those same tasks, coding, testing, support, the whole reason for outsourcing those jobs is suddenly in question. And the potential financial hit? It's just staggering. Projections show that in one day, the top 10 Indian IT firms could lose nearly 2 lakh crore rupees. That's about $24 billion in market value. It would be a crystal clear signal from investors that the old way of doing business is officially over.
But you know what? The story doesn't end there. These companies see the writing on the wall, and India's IT giants are already starting a radical pivot. They're trying to shift their entire identity from being people companies that sell labor to platform companies that sell AI-powered results. So, you look at Infosys. They're moving incredibly fast, and they formed a huge partnership with Anthropic, one of the key players building this agentic AI. It's kind of like, if you can't beat them, join them. By baking this powerful tech into their own platforms, they're turning a threat into a tool.
Then you've got Tata Consultancy Services, or TCS.
They're going all in on a model called business process as a service. And the key here is the shift. They're not just selling you a team of people anymore. They're selling you a complete AI-powered platform that delivers a specific outcome for your business.
And companies like Wipro and HCL Tech are focused on their people. They're launching these massive reskilling efforts. But the goal isn't just to teach old skills. It's to create totally new jobs, like an agent orchestrator, someone whose entire job is to manage and direct whole fleets of these AI agents. Pretty cool, right?
So, with all this chaos on the horizon, what does it actually mean for you, for your career, for the skills you need to learn, and for anyone investing in this space? Let's break down what this new reality looks like.
This slide really just sums it all up perfectly. We're moving away from a world where we pay for software seats and for human hours. Instead, we're moving to a world where we pay for an outcome, and we pay for the AI tasks that get us there. Software isn't a passive box for information anymore, it's becoming an active participant.
So for your career, what this means is that generic skills are becoming way less valuable. The new currency is specialized knowledge. Things like MLOps, which is basically how you deploy and maintain AI models in the real world, data engineering, and this one is absolutely crucial, deep domain expertise. You have to know your industry inside and out, so you can be the one telling the AI what to do.
And for investors, the entire calculation has changed. The competitive advantage, the moat around a business, it's not just about having the best code anymore. It's about having unique, proprietary data that no one else can get their hands on. Because at the end of the day, an AI agent is only as smart as the data it's trained on.
This all leads us to a brand new acronym for a brand new era. We're moving beyond SaaS, or software as a service, to something called SWAS, service as software. It's a really subtle change in wording, but it captures this entire profound shift.
So let's end on that final, really powerful thought. For decades, we've thought of software as a tool, like a hammer or a spreadsheet that helps us do our job. In the new world that's being created by this shift, that's just not true anymore. The software is the worker, and that changes everything.